Good evening, viewers. You are watching Dalsan TV English News. I'm Ifrah, and here are today's top stories. International pressure mounts as Ethiopia holds firm on Somaliland agreement. Somali army crushes Al-Shabaab fighters in fierce battle near Wajid, Bakol region. President of Somalia heads to Dusamareb for decisive strike against Al-Shabaab. In a fierce confrontation on the outskirts of Wajid district in the Bakol region, government forces successfully repelled an attack by Al-Shabaab militants, resulting in heavy losses for the extremist group. The clash erupted when Al-Shabaab fighters targeted a military base, sparkling a face-to-face battle between the attackers and the defending forces.
In a fierce confrontations on the outskirts of Wajid district in the Bakol region, government forces repelled an attack by Al-Shabaab militants, resulting in heavy losses for the extremist group. The clash erupted when Al-Shabaab fighters targeted a military base, sparking a face-to-face battle between the attackers and the defending troops. According to reliable sources, the intense skirmish lasted for several hours and involved the use of heavy weaponry, leading to casualties on both sides. Somali military officials, speaking about the incident, highlighted their successful defense and the defeat of the invading Al-Shabaab members. Preliminary reports indicate that at least 5 militants were killed during the encounter, with one wounded fighter captured by the government forces, who pledged to present the captive for further investigation. However, Al-Shabaab claimed victory in the battle and announced their targeting of a base in Wajid without disclosing the extent of their losses. The situation in the area remains highly tense, prompting both the National Armed Forces and those of the Southwest region to conduct ongoing operations. Wajid has recently witnessed repeated attacks by Al-Shabaab, including a strike on an ATMIS base just last week. Bai and Bakol regions are poised to commence the second phase of their offensive against Al-Shabaab, aiming to eradicate the group's presence from the entire southern area. These operations reflect the unwavering commitment of the Somali government and its regional partners to counter terrorism and restore peace and stability to the region. The Somali armed forces, along with regional allies, continue to intensify their operations against the extremist group, with a focus on liberating areas under their control.
The president of Somalia, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, is set to embark on a visit to Dusamareb, the capital of Galmudug. Sources confirm that President Mohamud, accompanied by a high-level delegation, will arrive in Dusamareb today, signifying the government's commitment to eradicating the threat posed by Al-Shabaab.
The president of Somalia, Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, is set to embark on a visit to Dusamareb, the capital of Galmudug state of Somalia. Sources confirm that President Mohamud, accompanied by a high-level delegation, will arrive in Dusamareb today, signaling the government's commitment to eradicating the threat posed by Al-Shabaab. Preparations are underway in Dusamareb to receive the president, with officials and hundreds of people gathering in anticipation of his arrival. In a bid to ensure the safety of the country's leader, security measures have been significantly beefed up, with additional troops deployed at the airport and throughout the city. The primary objective of the President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud's visit is to continue the relentless war against Al-Shabaab. Upon his arrival in Dusamareb, he will hold talks with the leaders of Galmudug and representatives from various sections of society. The central regions of Somalia, including Galmudug, continue to witness ongoing efforts to liberate vast territories from the grip of Al-Shabaab, with the collaboration of the National Army and local communities. The operations have persisted for over a year, and now the focus is shifting towards the second phase, targeting the regions of Jubaland and southwest state of Somalia. The fight against Al-Shabaab remains a top priority for the federal government of Somalia, whose relentless efforts are aimed at restoring peace and stability to the country.
The Danab forces in Puntland have seized control of the southern entrance to Garowe, opposing the re-election of President Saeed Abdullahi Deni, led by Colonel Jimale Takar and other dissenting members. These forces had already expressed their opposition to the elections held in Garowe on January 8 this year.
The Danab forces in Puntland state have seized control of the northern entrance to Garowe, opposing the re-election of President Saeed Abdullahi Deni, led by Colonel Jimale Takar and other dissenting members. These forces had already expressed their opposition to the election held in Garowe on January 8th. The rebel forces, who are against President Deni's inauguration in Garowe, announced the recapture of the town's crucial checkpoints last night. However, it remains unclear whether these actions were coordinated with the opposition politicians who were defeated in the Puntland presidential election. The regional government has yet to issue an official statement regarding the takeover by the rebel forces operating in Puntland. The current situation in the controlled area is causing apprehension, raising concerns that Puntland may resort to a military intervention to regain control. The impending inauguration of President Saeed Abdullahi Deni, who secured re-election on January 8th, is scheduled to take place in Garowe. Deni emerged victorious among a pool of 10 other candidates in the election. However, some of the defeated candidates, including Hassan Shire Abgal, have expressed dissatisfaction with the election process, alleging that the president manipulated the proceedings to his advantage. Their discontent adds to the already charged political atmosphere in Puntland. As tensions rise, the focus now shifts to how the regional government and the opposing forces will navigate this critical situation. The coming days will likely witness intense negotiations and deliberations to defuse the mounting tensions and find a peaceful resolution to the political impasse.
The Somali regional government in Ethiopia has publicly commended on the maritime agreement signed between Ethiopia and Somaliland in Addis Ababa, marking the first official endorsement from a prominent Somali leader.
Addis Ababa finds itself under increasing international pressure to revoke the agreement it signed with Somaliland, according to official statements from the Ethiopian government. Despite the mounting pressure, the Ethiopian Minister of Foreign Affairs and Deputy Prime Minister, Demeke Mekonnen, emphasized the country's commitment to honor the agreement. Ethiopian President Sahle Work Zewde further confirmed that several influential nations, including the European Union, the United States, Britain, China, Egypt and Saudi Arabia, stand in support of Somalia's territorial unity. The agreement between Ethiopia and Somaliland has sparked concerns among Somali authorities, prompting Somali President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud to issue a stern warning. President Mahmoud emphasized the necessity for Somalia to defend its territorial waters by all means necessary. He called upon the Somali people to unite in order to prevent any encroachment upon Somali sea territory, and cautioned Ethiopia against escalating the situation into an armed conflict. The agreement in question has raised complex geopolitical considerations, as it directly impacts the maritime boundaries and potential resources within the region. Both Ethiopia and Somaliland have their respective interests and aspirations, adding to the complexity of the situation. Ethiopia's stance on implementing the agreement despite international pressure signifies its determination to pursue its strategic objectives. However, the Somali government, supported by a coalition of influential nations, remains resolute in defending the territorial integrity and maritime interests of Somalia.
The president of the Somali region, Mustafa Mohamed Omar Agchar, emphasized the comprehensive Memorandum of Understanding benefits, highlighting its potential to foster sustainable development and enhance good neighborly relations.
The Somali regional government in Ethiopia has publicly commented on the maritime agreement signed between Ethiopia and Somaliland in Addis Ababa, marking the first official endorsement from a prominent Somali leader. The president of the Somali region, Mustafa Mohamed Agchar, emphasized the comprehensive Memorandum of Understanding benefits, highlighting its potential to foster sustainable development and enhance good neighborly relations. According to him, President Agchar, speaking throughout the Somali Regional State Communication Bureau, stressed that the agreement not only grants Ethiopia's sea access but also strengthens existing good neighborly relations. His comments closely followed the endorsement of the deal by the Ethiopian Political Parties Joint Council, noting Ethiopia's reliance on ports in neighboring countries to support its large population of over 120 million. Agchar underscored the potential advantages of the maritime agreement. Meanwhile, the Somaliland government, despite facing protests within its region, has confirmed its support for the Memorandum of Understanding with Ethiopia. However, the agreement has not been without controversy, as Somaliland's defense minister resigned in opposition. In parallel development, Major General Nuh Ismail Tani, Somaliland's defense chief of staff, held discussions with Ethiopia's Field Marshal of Berhanul Jula in Addis Ababa, focusing on military cooperation. The African Union and the Intergovernmental Authority on Development (IGAD) have urged dialogue to address the escalating tensions. Djibouti's President Ismail Omar Guelleh, currently holding the rotating chair of IGAD, has called for an extraordinary session to address the ongoing situation between Ethiopia and Somalia.
Thank you for tuning in to Dalsan TV English News. I'm Ifrah. We hope today's news coverage has provided you with valuable insights into the latest events shaping Somalia and the region. Remember to stay informed and engaged by subscribing to our channel and following us on social media. By doing so, you'll never miss out on important updates, breaking news and in-depth analysis. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to bringing you more.